This conference will now be recorded.
All right, we'll begin with the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Send that down to us for Randy's hands. Welcome everyone to the September 6th Marion County Commission meeting. We begin with a public forum, and we have someone here. Would you like to make comments?
Yes.
If you would, please come to the microphone and state your name for those online.
My name is Marty Sampson. I live at 5 Rock Road, Marion, Kansas. I'm representing Linda Judd, who lives at Lot 57. She had to work today and could not miss it. Her issue is the bed and breakfast going up next door to her, and I think she's sent you guys the pictures. And I'm just here to help reinforce that the majority, I don't know about majority, but I know that when we left the last meeting, there was a group of people that were all not happy about this. I don't see any of them here today. Linda and then the people who live directly behind that proposed Airbnb are probably the most affected people because it's so close to where they live. Her deck is just 25 feet away from that house, and next to the deck is her bedroom window. And she's a private person and lives alone, and she's very nervous about different people living in the house every week. And in the beginning, I was all for this because to me it's growth. It's growth for the community. But then at the last meeting, there's another person there wanting to turn theirs into a bed and breakfast. And I thought, well, now it looks like a can of worms. Oh, I can get my house payment made. Just rent it out. You know, if you can't afford to live on the lake, don't live on the lake. That's my feeling. I didn't get to live on the lake till I was 70 years old, and that's how old I am today. And I had to sell my property in Wichita to afford it out here. So I waited till I could afford it. And I like the idea of Airbnbs. I think they bring new people here, but there's also the potential to bring unwanted people here. I don't know, and she's pretty passionate about this, and she's my friend. She and I and another friend moved out here specifically because they are occupied properties. It is a very sweet community. We really like it out here. She's to the point where she's almost thinking she may have to sell her house, which none of us want that because we love the lake. We use it. I kayak. My friends and I like to kayak on the lake. And like I said, at first I was in favor of it because of the growth that it might give the community. But there's just so many houses available for sale there, and so they won't be able to live here on the lake, possibly the reservoir, or even in the town. I think it's a beautiful town. I personally want to be on the lake. I'm not actually on the lake. I'm behind all those beautiful homes that are on the lake. I'm the next tier behind, but I can walk my kayak to the lake every day. That's mainly her objection, is the privacy and the expense of having to put up a fence. And she didn't have one when the girls that owned the house were there because they became friends, they knew each other, they liked each other, and no problem. But with a different person living there every week, she's scared for her safety and scared for intrusion on her life. The fence would sort of give her privacy when she has people over and they're enjoying the deck. And she's got a great big rock on her property. It's more on her property than the proposed bed and breakfast. She says, what if there's a kid with the family that's renting that for that week and he falls on that rock? Am I going to get sued? That was not a question that ever got answered at the meetings. The last meeting, they didn't even ask for us to talk. They just let Matt, who is the brother to the sister who owns the property, so she didn't get to say anything. And after the meeting, like I said, there was a large group of people, but I don't see a single one of them here today. So are they really that upset or not? But the idea that a second person has now come forward and wants to apply for the same Airbnb. So what's to say half the people there won't do the same thing, and then you got new people. It's not the same community anymore. It's not the reason we moved here. We moved here because I've been coming to this lake and to the reservoir since I was a toddler. And I could never afford to live here, and now that I'm 70 years old and I'm able to build a nice little cabin and enjoy a nice quiet life. I love my neighbors in my little neck of the woods. all the people on the lake you go by, they all wave to you. It's that kind of community, and if they're all, not that everybody's gonna do this, but we heard that there might be as many as 10 people wanting to apply, and I thought, that's a lot in this small community, that 10 of these houses wanna become an Airbnb. I don't know what else to say. I know she's passionate about it, and she's my good friend, and like I said in the beginning, we were kind of for it until she thought, we measured, it's only 25 feet away from her deck, where we all gather when we're at her house. We like to sit out on the deck, and the view is beautiful, and she's
That's
worried
one
that
of the problems with the lake. The other thing was there was no zoning
Yeah,
50 years ago when they built stuff.
yeah.
So everybody built what they wanted to.
Yeah, she's not really crazy about putting a fence up on the property, and had it not been for the application for an Airbnb, there would never be a fence there. But now she's feeling a need to protect a little bit of her privacy, and I feel bad because she's a single woman, has had kind of a little bit of a sad life, and now her perfect harmony and peace is being jeopardized, and she suffers depression. Not that I really want to say that, but that is an issue. That's the main issue. She's worried about, because of her physical limitations, that people being there, different people all the time. And I said, well, it could go the other way. It could be everybody that's there is just amazing and nice, and you visit with them and you have a good time. But if it goes the other way where it's not that way, then what? She's just afraid her lifestyle is going to be threatened. I don't know is there anything that we can do other than?
Well, we have zoning.
It's in zoning's hands right now.
But
so.
that doesn't address what a community should look like.
Yeah.
It's just the legal part, will this fit in here, can this be moved here? But that doesn't dictate, without a housing association,
Yeah.
I don't see how you can dictate any of this.
I did give her the protest petition information this morning when she came in and dropped off her letter. And so she's aware of that procedure and that process that's
Yeah.
available to her.
The county lake has grown and grown and grown to where it's kind of its own thing anymore. It maybe needs to be.
Yeah. Brad Seagraves, who was finishing out my cabin, and he said that a few years back, I guess there's a family in town, a well-known family, and I guess they're fairly wealthy, and they wanted to put up some tiny homes around the lake, and I don't know whether it was gonna be a charitable thing, nothing, but they were denied. And I thought, I'm building a tiny home, basically. My cabin is 600 square feet, it's tiny, but.
600 square feet meets the minimum square footage
Oh,
for residential housing.
I didn't even know that,
Yeah. So you are not actually a tiny home, you were just a very small dwelling.
Very small, and,
You didn't get a building permit before you started?
oh yeah, I did all that.
Okay, so.
But I didn't
so
know that.
it's legal then?
I didn't know that I was that close to being legal. It may be just a touch over because I have double lofts, and so there's, the space above is being used. And my son said, Mom, it's still a tiny house, it's still a shed. It's a double lofted barn shed, that is.
Yeah.
That has
It's just for you though?
quartz countertops, beautiful kitchen cabinets, the best shower probably on the lake. And he says, yeah, but Mom, it's still tiny.
Well, you have your oasis.
I'm one person and 2 tiny dogs. We fit fine in it. And Lynn, on the other hand, is in a house, I did not know that was a minimum requirement. I'm glad that I did things the way I was supposed to. Brad took care of most everything. He says, you gotta talk to Sharon or somebody.
Yeah.
We did all that, but I didn't know I was that close.
Well, thank you for coming in and sharing your
Better
concerns.
to add on that a couple feet.
I'm gonna put a pergola up to make, so it doesn't look like a little mobile home. It's gonna be very pretty when it's finished. I'm just having growing pains right now because he's on another project, and I'm living in a half-finished house with a shipping container in my front yard because I got nowhere to put the furniture that's in it. And he knows, he says, I'm gonna try to get over there and get it done. I said, I hope so, because it's $200 a month for me to rent that container and a storage unit.
Just take it out of his pay.
Well, I'm the one that had to quit on the project because I ran out of money until I sold my house. So it's my own fault that I didn't want to do things
Well,
different.
thank you again.
I
for
appreciate your
coming in.
time.
I got the information.
Will we get any kind of feedback from this meeting? It sounded like at the last meeting we were at the lake, that they pretty much have decided is probably gonna pass this,
I believe it comes to the board for official action next week on the 12th.
is that a meeting at the lake that she
No,
would attend?
that's here.
Can she attend that one?
Sure. Now, the board can decide whether or not to accept comments at that meeting. They don't have to. They basically will act on whatever the zoning board's recommendation.
Yeah, she wouldn't have much more to say than what she
Right,
said
the
before what
information's
I
already
said today.
been aired and heard, and Tina explained the protest petition process to you, so.
She was here
that's
last
the
week.
option.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, I really appreciate it, and so
Right,
does
thank
she.
you. I see there's some written comments online.
Yes.
Tina, if you would read that, please.
You bet. Let me go back to the top of it.
Thank you.
This is from Jerry Mendoza. He's asking what is the status of 140th Alney Road construction. He said there has been no work done on the road since the week of the 8th of August, but the road closed signs are still up all throughout the 3-mile stretch of road. The road has gotten worse to the point that there are several areas that are becoming washboarded due to the constant heavy traffic despite the construction signs.
Okay. We'll have, Bryce gave us an update last week, and he'll give us another update this week, so. I know they were waiting for it to settle and pack and then get the rock hauled in. Okay, any other public comments? If there's anyone online? Not seeing any, we'll move into agenda approval. We will add an executive session on the emergency management director positions, that'd be personnel performance.
Maybe, or hiring,
Or
possibly
hiring.
personnel
There you go.
hiring discussion.
I'd like to add another
Okay.
5-minute one,
Sure.
personnel performance.
Okay. Brad will not be here today. He's on.
Excuse me?
Brad will not be here.
That's
today.
fine.
He's on judge
It would,
duty.
it would just include the commission.
Okay, very good. Any other traditions? If not, we'll move into administrative. Tina.
Okay. I do have the minutes of August 31st.
Commission's had a chance to review the minutes of August 31st. Any additions or corrections?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Gary, second by Commissioner Becker. Beat Crowfoot by 1/10 of a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, 4-0. Good.
I have some salary sheets.
There are 3 salary sheets. First one is in dispatch, Haley Mendoza, from $15.36 an hour, effective 8/29/2022, new 911 dispatcher. Dispatch, Chelsea Rains, $15.36 per hour, effective 8/31/2022, new 911 dispatcher. And Health Department, Kimberly Ross, from $23.94 to $24.42, effective 9/7/2022, for verbal hiring agreement, 1-year raise.
Have some early checks.
All right, Commission has had a chance to review early checks. Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Is,
4,000. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, with your question.
the one for the Flint Hills bent rims, is that another activity?
No, that's the one from before.
That's the one from.
Yeah,
last-
apparently we missed sending it,
Okay.
so.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
After like 12,000 conversations, it just didn't get sent.
It's on somebody's desk.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, all right, good question.
Only question is,
Okay.
Motion
Sorry
to
about
approve
that.
$4,474.85.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Garing, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Crowfoot. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 4-0. Oh.
Thanks, Tina.
What's that? Oh, yeah. So, one thing about that, Commissioner Gary had requested some information, some pricing information on a different pay, like raise scenario, so that was prepared. One thing about that is if we do that effective January 1, we don't really know how it affects all the step raises, because I don't know where that puts everyone and then what their step raise would look like, so it may not be super accurate. Because it would depend on where they fall then. So, and there's not a good way to estimate that without taking a lot of time, so.
As long as we're close.
Ballpark.
We make a semi-educated decision.
And I didn't give that to everyone.
Okay.
Oops, this is not August. Okay. All right, in your packet, you had a draft of a letter of support for Peabody Community Foundation to apply for a grant.
Is there any questions or discussion from the commission? If not, is there a motion to approve the letter of support?
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Garing made the motion, Commissioner Galkey seconded. Other questions or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. And opening a can of pop does not count as a nay, so that would be 5-0. I thought you had on one of your sound
I'm sorry,
effects.
sir.
The last sound effect was the boing.
I think they heard that through your speaker.
Well, thank you for that, because that thing needs to be shut off.
You said December, we would have to make a decision on something like this.
Probably in November, we'd have to enter it, well, December would be okay.
Earlier is always better.
Yeah.
But we usually run it till the last week. So we just won't comment on that maybe later.
Well, I'm not saying we have to,
Be nice to do it earlier.
Okay. In your packet, I had put in a revised leave policy based on what you approved previously for EMS. And so what's changing in the policy is highlighted in yellow. There's 2 pages basically here that are affected. And so if you're comfortable with that language, then I would look for a motion and vote to approve those revisions to the
Any
personnel.
questions on the policy? It mirrors what was discussed. Okay, I would move approval of the EMS vacation or leave policy. Second by Commissioner Garing. Other discussion or questions? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0.
Okay, along that same line, just a question on how we're gonna start this and how you want that to be, because we do accrue on the anniversary date. Some people in the department have already had their anniversaries and won't have another one till January or February. Some are just, is coming up, or it's just passed within the last 30 to 60 days. So, like on the sick leave, I think we could make that accrual effective immediately on the next pay period, where instead of accruing 8, they'll accrue 12 hours. But on vacation, since it's based on their anniversary date, I wasn't really sure how we go about doing that. If they've just had an anniversary, do they have to wait until the next one, or do we make it retroactive? And if we do make it retroactive, how far back do we want to go? Because, like, if they've had an anniversary within the last 6 months, shall we put what they should have earned at that time, and then if they're...
There's not a way to prorate it. It has to go anniversary.
We're just approving it as of today.
Yeah.
Right, so
But
if some...
So from today going forward.
I guess would be, I'd have trouble with the ones their anniversary was last week. And then, so they don't accumulate any
We
pay for a
we
year.
could say September 1.
But Tina's saying it has to go by their anniversary date.
Yeah, it does go, right, based on their anniversary. So I guess I just want to know how the board wants to implement it, since it's,
So if
that's
somebody
the
has
problem I have with it.
an anniversary last December.
They'll have an anniversary coming up in December, so
But-
that's when it would be
But if we
effective,
went
but.
back, that would give them more days off then?
Right.
If we-
Right, so what I'm saying is, do you want me to go ahead and just do it moving forward, to where somebody who had an anniversary August 19th would, under the new policy, will or should earn they earned 40, and under the new policy, they should earn 144.
And you're saying it, for the one that had
So,
the anniversary in
in
August, they will not accrue any of those until their anniversary. What?
Depending on how we implement it, so I just wanted the board to think about that, because
You reckon-
Yeah.
how do we do it in a fair way?
I guess I don't understand why it can't be implemented, like Kent said, just moving forward.
It can,
Okay.
I just
That's what I say,
didn't, I want
we
that to
approve
come.
it today,
Or can it be?
and it moves forward as
Yeah.
of their anniversary date. Well, I'm sorry, there's a couple of them that's maybe gonna have to wait 11 months.
Well,
Right.
I mean, if we keep making everything retroactive, everything,
Would it be more fair and budget wise, put it to January 23?
January 2023.
Yeah.
But you still have to wait till your anniversary.
Right, it's still not based on, it's
Yeah.
still based on anniversary system,
Yeah, but I
so
mean, it'd start,
then you could potentially have,
December 31st or 30th.
yeah, you could wait a whole, your anniversary date, a whole year away.
I think it's perfectly doable if the board decides that as of this date, moving forward, it's on your next anniversary is when you accrue, that's fine. I just want that to come from you, and I don't want that to be something that I just, randomly decide and put on as our procedure, so.
Seems like there's a lot of things
Ripple effect.
that,
Change one, to change to 6 days.
well, over the period of time I'm sitting here, I don't know how many different professions go by your anniversary date, your employment places. Every place I've ever worked's the first of the year, this year. Everybody changes. Whether you come to work in the middle of the year, you use your vacation up by the end of the year, December 31st, you start over in the first, but not the county. It's your anniversary date, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. And when we go to do things like this is when you can't, you throw it in and somebody gets hurt, somebody gets the winner, somebody gets hurt. If you had one date, some of this would be eliminated. You would know that you would, if you passed it today, it would go into effect the first.
For everybody.
Yeah, for everybody.
If it went in, just theory, thought here, if you went in to effect January 1st, 2023, for everybody that has a year or more of service.
That would not apply to your new hires.
They would have to earn it.
They'd have to be here.
They'd have to get it another year in because.
So what you're talking about is fine and dandy, but it's gonna take a whole policy rewrite,
Oh.
and so, Okay.
Yeah.
So you may wanna
Well,
address
that's-
that. I mean, if that's something that you wanna put into the next personnel policy, which we
And
need to
then-
do.
And then starting it today wouldn't cause a policy rewrite.
No, starting it, what, I'm just saying, if you're saying everybody's gonna accrue,
Starting September 1st.
No, January 1st.
if you pick a specific date
Yeah.
that everybody gets their leave, then that's not what our policy is.
Correct.
But if, does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah,
If that's
yeah.
not what you're saying,
Yeah,
if what you're
because the
saying
policy
is
is
we
really
start
taken-
based on the anniversary date
Take
of
a whole
anybody
new
after.
policy.
The
Yeah,
June
policy's
is,
written.
have to rewrite it.
Yeah, so that's
We
just,
get a
that's the
job.
difference.
I don't know, I think every time we do something, we're gonna have to change policy, and I think this policy has worked in the past, let's leave it alone.
We get recommend that we start.
And you know, that's just life, I just happen to start my job on a certain day, you know, it's just the way it is.
Well, and that is the accrual that was in place when they were hired, and that's what they were hired based upon.
Right.
So,
That is true.
yeah, so it's not like we're.
We're not reinventing the wheel here.
Right.
Right, right. So again, your position would be this, at this point, or the next pay period moving forward? Or does it have to be on a pay period?
No, it would just be, it's
be
approved today.
and moving
If your
forward.
anniversary, your next
Right.
anniversary is when it takes effect for
Right.
each person, so as they.
Your next anniversary.
So somebody that maybe had an anniversary in August, it wouldn't be effective until the
And
next
we,
one.
we wouldn't even have to approve, right?
No,
It's already.
right, that's
It'd
correct.
be just your direction, you would know the direction from the commission. and-
Right, I just wanna know
Right.
how you wanna implement it.
Yeah, I guess I'm agreeing with Commissioner Becker that we've got the policy.
Yes.
We've made an adjustment, but it falls under the policy.
Right.
Yeah, I guess run with it, see what kind of pushback we get.
Is there any opposition to that? Or would this be a commission consensus?
The only other thing that Tina, was there another page after payment upon termination? What will we pay out for maximum sick leave?
We don't pay out sick leave.
We don't pay out anything? Okay, all right.
Well, okay, I don't believe any of these individuals were employed long enough to where they would still be eligible for any sick leave payout. We used to pay out sick leave, that was changed in 2010, and so anybody that they had a balance as of that date, we
Correct.
took a snapshot of that's the
Okay.
maximum they would ever be paid out, and you
Okay.
pay it at 20%.
Okay.
Either that amount or whatever's on the books now
Good
for
enough.
them.
Good
But
enough.
everybody hired after that is
Good.
not eligible to pay out sick leave.
Well, when I seen the accumulation, I said we changed it, but I didn't remember what we
Yeah,
did.
that's what we did.
Okay.
Okay, then I'm gonna call a commission consensus that sick leave go into effect, this policy for sick leave go into effect next pay period, and the vacation leave effective today, following county policy.
Okay.
Second. Was that a motion or?
I was going
doing a
consensus.
directive?
It was a directive.
Okay.
Yeah, we can sure make it a motion.
Dave's name's on the line there.
Yeah, that way we won't get the pushback, I'll tell them we're talking to.
Fine, by then.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you for that. I just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page.
We're on the same page.
Okay, thank
And-
you.
And yes, there's gonna be some people that
Oh,
feel.
yeah.
That's the timing, it's following policy, so
Yeah.
I feel more comfort following policy.
Okay, I believe that is all, oh, that's not all I have. So it is now time to do the destruction of the ballots from the 2020 general election. So as we did in the primary, the law says the commission is to appoint the people to witness that destruction. So I haven't asked anybody yet. I didn't know if it has to be individual of good repute from each of the two major parties. So if any of you have someone that you want to be on that,
Can we delegate that
let
to
me
you?
let me know. Otherwise, I can bring you some.
There we go.
Like last time, I had asked Jan Helmer and Susan Berg, and the board approved them.
Yep.
And so I don't know, but if you have somebody that you want to be on that, would like to know that, then I can get that arranged.
Are there any names that commissioners would like to submit? Or are you
Because it
okay
is up
with
to you.
the clerk to bring names to the commission?
She gives us a name on it.
Yeah, because you're gonna get people that come from work to
Right.
watch the destruction.
Right, so that's
Yes.
the tricky part,
It makes-
because we have to
Makes sense.
wait for the
Yes.
big shred truck to come, and then I don't know ever exactly when it'll be, so.
At what day, but not what time.
Right, so what I'll do is we'll get that scheduled, I will check with, and try to get you a couple of names for you to officially approve. And in the meantime, if you think of somebody that you just really want to appoint, you let me know.
Okay.
And I will put them on that list.
Sounds good. That's the consensus.
Okay. And I believe that is everything I have.
Excellent. I believe we're ready for Bryce.
Bryce? Are you ready?
He's sleeping out there.
I saw you earlier.
Yeah.
He's out there. Looks
It's
quiet.
it's official. I now feel like I'm being picked on since I'm the only department head to committee today.
That's because your department is so important. That's,
You notice how long it took him to finally get that out?
Stutter that out?
Yes, yes.
There could have been a shorter answer.
Well,
Yeah, Commissioner Dahlke answered the question.
actually, I don't have an awful lot, so it should be a fairly quick time frame. First of all, did you guys have any questions on the cost share stuff I sent in, going for the structures?
Good. Any other commissioners have questions?
$1.5 million
Now we just cross our fingers and hope
Yeah.
something.
Obviously, we'll have to take the rest of the year until we find out on any of them, but we just don't know. But anyway, if there's no question or whatever else, we'll get that submitted. It's not due till the 15th, so we've got some time, but.
Get it.
Still.
Get it on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. I don't know if you guys saw, last week, I got a call after I was in here from the contractor for the 190th. They are having a terrible time getting trucks. They're hauling grain haulers, and they're getting 1 or 2 loads a day is about all we're getting right now. They even tried to pay the trucking company more, and the trucking company says, well, we appreciate that, but we don't want to do that, because when we start paying the extra rates and everything else, we're gonna have to pay extra rates as well. But I guess it's to the point where that, due to the price of fuel, that guys would rather just sit home on unemployment than they would drive trucks.
At the same time, they put in a bid, they've got to know that they're going to have to deliver on that bid.
Well, and that's the thing is, we, you're not setting a specific time frame. Maybe that was, something I should have thought too, but, who would have thought that we had that kind of trouble? And they're having problems on their other jobs too.
I think that's gonna be ongoing.
Yeah,
So the thing is, so when's the deadline?
Well, I don't know if I specifically put one in there, but knowing that they usually do this during the hottest part of the year. But, I mean, they've started bringing material in, they've got a loader here, they've got a guy ready to stockpile, it's just no trucks showing up. So, but it may get to the point that if the contractor themselves are sitting around, there's gonna be more material delivered.
Has they contacted local
Yes.
around here?
Yep, I sent them.
We kind of booked up the local.
Well, I know.
Well, but
You
no,
know.
I sent them 4 contacts around here, and they said they called them, but, they were like.
A lot of these guys have 2, 3 trucks, they can put one on
Yeah.
that and the other on rock hauling.
But honestly, there's, like I said, there's enough work out there just locally to keep them busy too, because I know one of them said he had a bunch of state work that he had to get done by the end of the year as well. Speaking of which, we did start our contract hauling today. So first truck on the ground, left a nice little spot, so we not only got a call, but so did dispatch. Well, couldn't even get over there fast enough, But anyway, we're rolling with it now. So I'll try to follow up with them again to find out what their status is. Like I said, if they get to the point where they're sitting around and, so. Guys are over on Indigo today doing entrances, side roads, things like that. Should hopefully finish up the end of this week, barring any problems. The project is now complete. Striping was done. There's 2 small items that going to fix. The contractor's going to fix an area where an implement came out of the field, tore up the asphalt a little bit. wasn't anybody's fault. And then they're also checking on the area where we did that patchwork, if we need to do some more edge ledger stuff. So if you guys have anything else that is,
Is it a field that has an entrance on a gravel road that they can utilize?
well, this one here was just simply because they come out of there and we didn't have any edge wedge on there yet.
Oh, okay.
So he was just so low that his
Yeah.
teeth
Yeah.
caught it when he come up. I mean, and it wasn't, he didn't do it on purpose or anything, it was just, it's spotted on yellow. So,
I seen one pop out of the field the other day, and
yeah,
there was another field entrance to the north, and it was like,
yeah. It's
really?
Yep.
It's brand new.
Well, you know, it is what it is, but, so like I said, they're working on that, but just kind of a slow process there as well too, so. So that was the two things I had there. I don't know if you guys have anything else, verifying final quantities with contractors, so we should be able to get that done this week, all the change orders and stuff. And then on, broke some guys loose, pulled some guys out of other things. We're rocking 140th today as we speak. Hopefully we'll try to finish that off this week on at least on the base rock. If not, we're more. Got 5 contracted trucks on it. So if we could break some of our trucks loose from Indigo and put them on too. So
That should move pretty fast.
it's yeah.
I mean, it takes time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That
but
was one
anyway.
of our questions already this morning.
Yep. So, but anyway,
Since
like
we're
I said,
in
we're
the-
hopefully gonna get that at least covered up this week, and then as soon as we get it covered up, it can rain this weekend. You know, that's,
I hope you are right.
well, you know.
Saturday's
Yeah,
portray.
I hope it rains.
Yes, I think we're all to that point.
I think,
so.
you know, I'll put up with some sloppy roads at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, I honestly, you know, for 3 weeks, I've been fairly impressed. There's a couple spots out there, but from what Dale's told me, they've kind of always been wet, always been soft. I suppose there's some springs or whatever else underneath there, but I think otherwise performing very well, so I'm impressed with that, so.
Most of the springs quit.
Yeah, they've even given up too, so. But anyway, I did get a new hire today. So he started today, so, a local kid, so obviously wasn't able to get that with Sherry, but now we'll have that by next week, so.
You have to get a CDO.
We are encouraging that. In fact, that's another problem. We got 2 guys going this week, to start CDL.
Right when you need it.
Well, you know, and
But
and
what
I
do you
got,
do?
well, it's like this Friday, I've got a bunch of guys that are taking off, they're going to the fair, other people are field work, it's just, I mean, other people we do have, we're still losing them, so.
What is the plan for the employees that is going on CDLs? How many weeks and what is it?
2 days a week, I believe, for 4 weeks,
Oh, wow.
and that is everything. That is the studying, taking the test, and the driving. So, but they must be,
not terrible.
they must be the place to go because
Where's
we've
this
been
at?
in Hutch,
In Hutch.
Hutch Community College. We've been on the books since March, trying to get people in. And they just, well, they had a heck of a time in the summer. They were having issues with too many people, not enough help to do that work. They actually went out and got another truck and trailer. But yeah, they're booked. And she said, well, it's like we only had, we were sending 1 this week, and she sent a reminder last week, and I said, hey, what about, oh, she says, I just had a cancellation. We're good to know we're in there.
Nice.
So, you know, but, so I mean, it would, even if we wanted to do it ourselves, still trying to find some way to do that, you know, takes time, so. But,
I wonder what our grand plan by people higher than us is, because everything needs, they're coming down on, you know, down on a 1-ton truck with duals on it, and if you got a DOT tag, well, you're gonna have to have a CDL for long. I mean, it's just getting there, and then it takes this to get a CDL now, and there's always people looking for truckers.
Mhm.
I just don't understand the grand plan.
well, it's federal government at its finest,
Right.
trying to, monitor.
Take care of us.
Well,
We can't take care
they're
of
trying to
ourselves.
monitor the system because of the issues that have had in the past.
Well,
Guys
There's
working,
1 or 2
driving,
bad actors.
driving too many hours and too many miles and accidents and, you know, So,
Central states just need to become sanctuary states for CDL. We're farmers, leave us alone.
But then there's always gonna be that
yeah.
one person.
Yeah, cause it's like we've talked about, you know, even our 1-ton truck, we don't have, cause it doesn't have air brakes, you don't have to have a CDL. But when you pull a trailer, then it jumps
And you
over
hit the weight.
26,000 pounds, then you have to have a CDL.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, and they're stopping them out on the road.
yeah,
That's going on. Are you just about done?
I'm done.
Oh.
Uh,
It would be nice to keep that 1 ton out with some guy patching holes.
Well, that's what I'm getting, and it's on Old Mill between 30th and 20th down there.
Yep.
I'm getting quite a few phone calls, and I said, we're supposed to start blade patching, but just keep it on your list.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I could put 3 or 4 dump trucks on the road right now, just putting that stuff in.
understand
And, you know, we've talked about what we're gonna do as a priority. We thought 290th would be a priority due to the traffic and something. I mean, we got a spot out there, east of Timber, or just west of Timber. It's actually worse than those down there. So it's just, you know, and again, where do I
Where do you get the
throw my
people?
guns? Yeah.
Where do you get the people?
Yep.
Where do you get the time to
Yep.
do it? I
So,
understand.
yeah, and I like I said, I wish there was.
Because there are certain things that needs to be done. The rock needs to be on 140th.
Yeah.
And then other things, the edge patching over there on Indigo.
Yeah. So, no, I totally agree with you. We've got so much to do.
Kansas, 2 miles, concrete.
That has been surveyed, should get the results back this week. And then we'll start on the survey. The survey won't be, or the design won't be real involved because we're just gonna have a longitudinal, the longitudinal elevation, and then we'll design everything off of that. So I would think, you know, within hopefully 6 weeks, 2 months, we can get that turned around.
So 2 months, you're looking for theoretically a let day.
Well, yeah, somewhere around that.
Okay.
So, I've been calling on, well, that was one where they were use a drone to fly it. Well, come to find out, the FAA now requires a flight plan. Anytime you deal with the FAA, it's 4, 6, 8 weeks, you know. But Joe Schmo can go take his drone out there, and when you start doing it commercially, now you're talking about the government regulating things. So, but nope, still working on that. So,
Okay, I have a question for the commission, and then I'll see how that addresses Bryce. It was brought to my attention, we took bids for the rock hauling. Obviously, that was a major project. Did the commission want to review those bids to take a formal action, or did they direct the county engineer to issue the bid process and then select the bid?
Policy is that they come up here. But that's, if you give them a directive, that's.
Right, and that's what I'm just trying to clarify, and it's in retrospect, but if the commission would like the engineer to bring those up for formal action, I just want to be consistent with the commission and policy. But if you're okay with it, we've given him a directive, that's perfectly fine by me.
Because there's always somebody questioned it.
well, and again, I have the information, not,
Yeah.
you know, I mean.
I think it'd be good just to have the information on how it broke out. I mean, we knew we were gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
Right, right, and it's
Well,
not,
that's-
it's not gonna change anything, but.
Yeah, that's what I did, was I just, hey, guys, I need, tell me what you haul this for, so we can get it done, so.
One other point on that,
Okay.
since you're discussing it, is on a contract that size, having the approval in the minutes is important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably good for you to
Okay,
bring
I'll
it.
get it up to you then.
Would you have time today, or do that next Monday?
Let me see if I
Do the
did
12th.
12. Yeah, I could probably do it.
Let's do the 12th.
Okay.
And I don't mean, I'm not after Bryce or
Right,
anything like
right.
that, it's other departments.
Right.
It takes the burden off of their back if we do that, and it's done up here. And it just, it keeps them out of the trouble. All I'm saying.
Maybe I could get you guys to find me some help then, that would help too.
That falls on us too.
Okay. I falls on everybody too, true, so. Okay.
No, I've asked this every time we put gray rock on 140th, right?
We're done, yep. I wanna get it covered up with the big stuff first.
Goes on the top.
Yeah, yeah. We've
Goes on
got
bottom
five,
too.
they've got 5 trucks hauling on it, so
Do we have a supply of that hard rock now?
it's still on
Yeah.
I
quarry.
mean, it's at the quarry, but we have
Yeah,
access.
last time I checked, we were over 8,000 tons that we had there, so we're in good shape. And I talk to Sam quite often, if we need more, then they bring it back, so.
So is their backhaul cheaper than ours?
Oh, yeah. Cause about the only one that's done it so far, it's been more than that, so. Plus, he has a lot more people that are,
Yeah.
that he can pull
I mean,
from.
Should.
Yeah.
This is Harshman you're talking about?
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't see anything.
Okay.
Thank you, Bryce. Okay, short agenda today. Down to executive sessions. First one, executive session on hiring emergency management director. Let's say 15 minutes, I think. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss hiring emergency management director pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. Item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance with the commission, Tina, and we may ask Marcy to come over if necessary. B from 116, I think 117 to 132.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried. We'll be back at 1:32.
This conference will now be recorded.
You got West user. Oh, there's, okay. Everyone's here. We are out of executive session, no decisions made. We're gonna go back in for another 5 minutes. I move we recess an executive session in order to discuss emergency management director position, hiring pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance, with the commission, Tina and Marcy, for 5 minutes, 1:34 to 1:39.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dalkey. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. We'll be back at 1:39. And Kent, yours was just commission, not Tina. Not Tina.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we are out of executive session, no decisions made. We have one last executive session, and I believe that'll pretty much wrap up our day. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B, item 1, personnel matters, non-elected personnel performance, with the commission for 5 minutes. That'd be from 1:42 to 1:47.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gehring. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried 5-0. We'll be back at 1:47.
This conference will now be recorded.
Very good. We are out of executive session. No decisions made. Any public comments? There's none here. Anyone online? If not, any commission comments?
Yeah. Just on the part that Tina produced for me, just so everybody has a chance to see this.
I can make copies if you
Yeah,
like.
that'd be great.
Sure.
And it kind of comes from, the reason why I asked for it was because of the COLA, the 5%, 3%, yada yada.
Yeah.
I feel like our problem is hiring at the bottom level. And so we need to not worry about percentages and just get the amounts up evenly. That way we get a higher dollar amount at the bottom level.
So an amount per hour, not a percentage?
Yes.
Okay.
So I asked her to produce $1 an hour per every position we had. And it comes in a little less than 5, a little more than 3.
To raise your,
And then that will actually bring the bottom up more than it brings know we can't make any decisions, it's just a comment, but it's something to think about for.
Yeah.
I appreciate you having Tina do that.
I appreciate Tina doing it.
Well, I had Cherry do it, so I appreciate Cherry doing it. But one thing I do want to mention is, if this was something that's effective January 1, then that does affect, I don't know how it exactly affects the steps, because if you did a step then in July, doing this first may change your overall number somewhat, depending on where they land, with whether that means they go up another step, or if they stay, or, I mean, I wouldn't know exactly how it would affect the steps without doing extensive work on it, which we did not do,
No,
so.
we just gotta get close to know that we'd be staying within budget, because I can already tell the number, without getting a substantial amount added to it,
Mm-hmm.
is not gonna put us over.
Mm-hmm. It'll make a good discussion.
And the other note that I got is I will not be here next week, and I will not be able to be remote. I have classes.
We got a lot on the agenda for next week. Not to make you feel guilty.
And I'm gonna be gone the last week of September and probably not be able to participate.
In the mountains,
No, open
Out in
seas.
out in the Atlantic.
Oh,
Well, let's see, we have
take a cruise.
the last week, there's a Monday meeting, and then the payday would be the 30th. And so we probably will not have a meeting the October 3rd. Would that be correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna hand this back to Tina, or have her take it back, and I'd like one more line out here of what each one's salary is, of the head person on all of these titles we have here, like the ambulance, or the aging, that's gonna change, Park and Lake.
Department heads.
Yeah, department heads.
Elected.
Yeah, elected, or just go ahead and give us another sheet with just department heads elected, the salaries.
Okay.
You were looking at October 3rd. Looks like there's a
Yeah,
lot on there already.
I mean, it's just, that would be the normal day for your land bank
Oh.
meeting.
Oh, we missed it last time too.
Yeah, that's-
Right, and then, the only other things on here, so there's just the regularly scheduled, like quarterly or.
Oh, okay.
How
Yeah.
soon would we have to make an announcement to cancel that meeting?
Well, last time we did it the week of.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if there's no business, you can announce that there's no business on the
Right.
26th and cancel the 3rd.
I was just trying to be a little further ahead this time since we did it the week of.
I've got two people that wants to make an application to the land bank with their houses.
Hmm.
So I need to get with Tina and see what we need to come up with, the property description, the taxes, why they're wanting to put it there, and you know, and so everybody can see that when we handed it to the meeting. But I want all that information on there for them, but there is two people ready to do it.
Is there a form that we can give to somebody, and or we need to develop a form?
I think we need to develop.
Oh goodness, that's not what I meant to say.
Thank Tina.
We can develop a form.
Yeah.
I believe that the attorney recommended that they just provide a letter of intent, basically saying they wish to, like,
I'm
just
just
draft a
saying.
letter to submit, saying they want to donate their property or turn their property over.
That's
And they
exactly.
could just outline what it is, you know, the reasons and the situation with the property, say what the address is, and then we could do the background work of figuring out what the legal description is, what the
Okay.
taxes do, or all of that.
I was trying.
Once we have a letter,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
that's kind of the
Yes,
recommendation
that
that
was
was made
good. Yes, letter of
before.
intent, yes.
But if you would rather have a form, I mean, that's something that can be done as well, and I think
Well,
that
I'm
was
just
the
thinking
intent
people will
initially.
ask for a
So,
form.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know.
Well, then you can check the boxes,
Yeah.
the address, name.
mhm. So you may still want to hold
May
your
still have
October
it
3rd.
October 3rd. Yeah. Well, that way we've
I
got
think-
time to think about it.
I think it could be put off, you could delay it to October 3rd and go down to
The next week.
a week or two later, but I'm just, you know, I don't have a problem with that. I want to get those applications in, because they've asked for them. But I, letter of intent, then I said, well, does it have the date, does it have the address, the
What's on the letter?
code number and all that
Right,
stuff? And-
like the tax ID or
Yeah, tax
whatever.
ID number and that kind of stuff, so. Okay.
Just give us as much information you have, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I want to do, yeah.
And more in commission comments than we did?
No.
Anything else? If not, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Dolphy, second by Commissioner Gearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carried 5-0. We will be back on Monday, September 12th.
And that's, your budget hearing is at 12:30.
Budget hearing at 12:30.
Yep. Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Wisconsin.